You know, we could all use some encouragement. And I've got some good news for you. Welcome to 5 Minutes with Mark.
Greetings, fellow travelers. Welcome back to 5 Minutes with Mark. Today we're going to pick up the story in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 1, at verse 12. Immediately the Spirit drove him into the wilderness, and he was there in the wilderness 40 days, tempted by Satan, and was with the wild beast, and the angels ministered to him. So, Jesus is baptized. And the first thing that happens after his baptism is he is driven into the wilderness by the Holy Spirit. In other words, he enters into this time of separation and aloneness with God, being prepared for the ministry that he's about to enter into. And the wilderness plays a really interesting place in Jewish history, right? We see David driven into the wilderness when Saul is after him, and that was a whole wilderness experience. We see Elijah going into the wilderness after Jezebel is trying to kill him. We see the wilderness is a very important character in the story of God. Hey, we all have moments where we find ourselves in the wilderness, right? Where we find ourselves out in the wild places, the uncomfortable places, the places where we're disconnected from all of the support that's around us, all the comforts and all those securities that we're so used to. Jesus understands what it's like to be in the wilderness, and he understands what it's like to be tempted by Satan. Isn't it interesting that he's out there, and we know again from the other Gospels, from the Gospel of Luke, where Jesus is tempted. We get into those temptations, but look, Jesus understands what it's like to be in need. He understands what it's like to be confused. He understands what Satan does in our minds, because he's been through that. The other Gospels let us know that he was fasting for 40 days in the wilderness, and that is a long time to go without food. And so we see these very, very real human things that Jesus experienced, which gives us a connection to him. Look, the Bible tells us that we have a high priest who understands, who is tempted in all ways just as we are, and yet was without sin. And this is a really, really important thing for us to hold on to, because the truth is, hey, we're all human and we all fall. We all run into things that we don't know what to do with. We all have unexpected problems that come along, and we all deal with real life. And we all deal with Satan, the enemy of God, who's trying to deceive us, trip us up, cause us to turn away from God, destroy our faith, destroy our relationships, and create all these problems in our lives. And Jesus understands. He's been there. Not only did he deal with Satan, too, he dealt with the wild beast. Now, wild beast, of course, he's in the wilderness. He's dealing with the jackals and the wolves and the, whatevers, the snakes and all those things. The wild beast in our lives, well, I think that's something kind of like, I don't know, the media, the culture around us. We're surrounded by things that are trying to distract us, things that are trying to get hold of us, things that are trying to destroy us and tear us down, things that are trying to keep us so disconnected from God because we're so worried about the things that are going on around us. It's an old trick. It's the old trick that the enemy uses to keep people caught up in things that really don't have any eternal significance. And yet we find ourselves getting further and further away from God because we're distracted by the wild beast, by the things that we're worried about that may attack us, but probably won't. In the end, it also says that Jesus was ministered to by the angels. And I think that's a really interesting little thing. Look, God knows we are in this. God knows that there's a battle going on. God knows that there's an enemy and he has agents that are working to destroy us, to tear us apart, to tear us down, and to cause us to turn away and pursue our own things, to take care of ourselves, to not be dependent on God. And God has got his agents who are around us to lift us up, to encourage us, to keep us moving in the right direction, to keep us grounded in our faith. And so, be encouraged today. No matter what you're in the middle of, there is a God who loves you. And there's someone who's right there close to you, if you'll just reach out, who will say, I'm here to help you walk through this. Hey, it's going to be okay. You're not alone. I promise. See you next time. I hope you're enjoying this Bible study, this quick devotion. If you'd like more content, you'd like to know more about me and see more of the things that I'm doing, check out my website, theeclecticmonk.com. There you'll find out about my video vlog, my podcast, and a whole lot of other stuff. Hope you'll join me there.